All right, welcome back to the Gen Z Speaks podcast. Today, we have Ibrahim Ahmed and Matt Gutierrez.
Terrible introduction.
That's just our normal introduction,
Give
brother.
me an adjective.
For?
Me.
You?
Who am I?
Slimy. Slimy Ibrahim.
I'm trying to think of an adjective for you.
You can't. It's
I
impossible.
can't. You have no adjectives. You're just Matt.
That's pretty good to
You're
me.
Matt Gutierrez.
Correct.
An adjective that I would give you is... What's an adjective again?
All right, bro, let's speed this up.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I know what an adjective is. You're amazing. How about that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Slimy and amazing.
I was hoping you would change your
Oh.
slimy into something more
Sorry.
nicer, meaningful.
It is meaningful. Not in the right way, but
Before you tune out of the podcast, the person listening, just give me like 30 seconds of riffing before we delve into it. Because today I want to talk to you about something very important. Let's just dive right in.
okay. Amazing.
Right now, you are 23 years old and 3/4.
Yes.
Every single day when you go to bed, what is that one thing that makes you think about your life choices on and on and on? Long story short,
Yeah.
what is your biggest regret in life?
What keeps me up at night?
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But give me something that
Alright.
you are regretful about.
Well, nothing keeps me up at night, first of all. Nothing.
Lie.
Nothing keeps me up at night.
Lie number 2.
What do you think keeps me up at night?
Ghosts. Because you're scared of ghosts.
Possibly that one. Possibly that one. Some very creepy things going on in my house right now. My biggest regret.
You believe in ghosts. But go ahead. That's for
How
another
do you
podcast.
not believe in ghosts?
Go ahead. That's just opening up a Pandora's box. That's going to eventually lead up into faith, religion, and then it'll be an endless conversation. So just tell me what your biggest regret in life is, man. Just get it over with, all right?
My biggest regret in life
Yes.
is probably falling off of commercial real estate.
Falling off of commercial real estate.
Yes, I'm continuing falling off.
Falling off.
Yes.
Describe what falling off means to you.
Falling off means that is the one thing I think that I've done that I wasn't accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish. I pivoted, maybe, if that's what you want to say, but I did take a long hiatus in that field. That's for sure.
You took a hiatus when you were pursuing commercial real estate, or are you quoting the time period that has lapsed since you stopped doing commercial real estate as a hiatus?
Since I stopped, yeah.
So a hiatus means you might come back. Am I hearing that right?
Well,
You might make a comeback into commercial real estate.
maybe not commercial, but in that field, yeah.
In real estate.
Real estate, yeah.
So you are regretful over the time period that you were a commercial real estate agent?
Regretful of the time that I was in there?
Yes.
No.
What are you regretful about?
I didn't work hard enough when I had the opportunity.
So you're not happy with your performance as a commercial real estate agent?
Basically, I had a great opportunity, and
Describe to the listener
yeah,
or the
yeah.
viewer what opportunity it is that you had. What is commercial real estate?
Okay.
Why is a guy named Matthew Julio Gutierrez doing commercial real estate when he's 19 years old? Why?
Okay, man. Okay, let's just dive into the story then, huh?
I've been wanting to say that.
All right. Well, I've I've always wanted to do something with real estate, right? At the end of the day, what I want to do.
Wait, why?
Why
Why
real
real
estate?
Yes.
Because I think real estate is the avenue where you can create wealth, and I want to be like a life-changing figure, at least in my generational family coming
Monetarily.
monetarily.
You want to be the rich guy.
I want to be the guy that's able to support my family. Yeah.
Okay? That means you want to be the richest in your family. Continue.
Okay.
Why is this guy trying to be politically correct? Continue.
Yeah, well, whatever, man. Well, I fell into so there was two things I wanted to do in college, right? It was either going to be real estate
Mm-hmm.
or it was going to be management consulting.
Yes.
Okay, I figured management consulting wasn't going to be the path when I started looking into it. Well, first of all, I was getting my real estate license either way. I was 18 years old, got my real estate license, and I jumped into Keller Williams when I was 19.
What's that?
Keller Williams is probably the biggest brokerage in America, and it's not a very difficult task to get into KW, but there's a lot you can learn from them because it is the largest brokerage, right? So it was a really good learning curve for me just to get into real estate, talk to people, see what being a salesperson is like, or working only on commission, and like you have to push yourself to work basically. So it was cool when I was 18, 19 doing that. But that wasn't the goal. The goal was to position myself to get into commercial real estate. Okay. So commercial real estate, there's two types of real estates, right? Residential and commercial. Residential is your everyday home. That's going to be a single family home. Up to 3 units in that home. Okay. Commercial real estate can be retail, which is like your average Subway, Target, right? And then there can be office space, basically where businesses go to work. And then there's warehouse space called industrial. And then there's multifamily, so it's anything over 4 units. Okay. I wanted to get into, I didn't know what, but I wanted to get into somewhere in the commercial space because I knew that commercial real estate is where you can make big amounts of dollars and you can have a sustaining business for your life if you just put in the work for 5 to 10 years.
So you were chasing commercial real estate for the money.
For the money.
Because that's where the big bucks are at.
Yes.
That's what's going to make you the Jeff Bezos of your family.
Well, I don't want to say Jeff Bezos. I don't want to say Jeff Bezos, right? But yeah. It's definitely commercial real estate creates generational wealth. That's a fact. Yeah.
And so in terms of timeline,
Yeah.
you get your real estate license when you are 19?
Yeah. I guess I was 18 when I finished my license and 19 because of COVID when I got into Keller Williams.
Keller Williams is his top firm.
Brokerage, yeah.
Brokerage.
Yeah.
You got hired there.
Right.
And it's commission-based only job, correct?
Yes.
And your biggest regret in life, the thing that keeps you up at night, is not performing to the best of your abilities for the 3 months that you were there?
At Keller Williams?
Yes.
Oh, no, not Keller. That wasn't the regret. Keller Williams was going to be my my avenue just to learn, basically.
Okay.
So after Keller Williams, there's a big 4 basically in commercial real estate. The big 4 brokerages. So it goes NAI, it goes CBRE, it goes Colliers, and then there's one that I'm blanking on. But by God's will and connections, I got into Colliers, right? I got into a team.
After Keller Williams.
After Keller Williams. This was after I graduated college, actually.
What made you not want to pursue Keller Williams?
I didn't have a good mentor. Yeah,
Okay.
she would not. She didn't let me go on any listings with her, even when I asked her. She didn't show me how she did her work at all. So basically, she was there if I needed to call her and ask her a question, and to take my commission, basically.
And that was residential?
That was residential.
Keller Williams residential.
Yes.
You were like, I'm not going to be the Jeff Bezos of my family if I keep at Keller Williams.
Yes.
I got to go to Colliers,
Yeah.
where the big bucks are at,
Right.
which is your biggest regret at
That
Colliers.
is Colliers is probably the biggest regret.
And that's where you don't think you performed to the best of your ability.
I didn't.
How long were you there for?
4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
Why did you not perform to the best of your ability?
Well,
I see you getting nervous.
I don't like this conversation, brother. It's
I see you moving your thighs, you're tapping your shoes,
Yeah.
you're telling me every single thing that you are not comfortable right now, which makes me very happy because I want to see you uncomfortable during the course of this podcast because it gives me joy. Let me know
Yes.
why you think you didn't perform to the best of your ability.
Okay, I got into Colliers when I was 20 years old, right? I
Yes.
graduated college early. I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
And I got into what? What's the laugh
Continue,
about?
I'm sorry.
What's the laugh about, man?
I just think I wish you guys were here in the room right now. I love it when this guy is nervous. There's something, you're just little things that you do, bro. Continue.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I'll just be a mute. How about that? I'll put my legs
The
together.
guy's gonna comment something again. The guy in our last.
Screw that guy. That
There's
guy is.
somebody, in case this is an inside joke, but let me give more context.
No, we shouldn't give any
No?
context. No.
Somebody said something very bad about you.
Yeah.
And it's
Which
not
is-
true. It's not true. Well, no,
Yes.
wait, let's not go into what it was, but the way you were sitting, that might come up again. So that was the joke. But
It was
continue.
out of pocket. That's it.
Yeah.
The whole thing was out of pocket.
It was a
It's like,
very bad.
don't even know this
comment.
dude, but
Go ahead.
that's why we don't read comments, right? That's why we don't read comments.
I read every comment and I reply to it because we are a new and small podcast and we're trying to grow and I need to engage with the audience. Continue.
Okay. I was at Collier's when I graduated. So I joined Collier's when I graduated college at 20. Immediately after, I took no break, which was probably my first mistake. I probably needed a break out of college because I was working my ass off too fast probably in college.
Walk me through
Yeah.
a timeline. I like to think of things through the
Okay.
course of time.
Yes.
I'm very reflective of
Okay,
time.
yes.
So what day did you graduate college?
I graduated college, I think May 26th, something like that.
2021.
2021.
And you start work at Collier's when?
That next morning.
May 27th.
So maybe not May. I think it was a Friday and I started on a Monday. Yeah.
So May 29th.
Yes, probably.
So you got a weekend off.
I got a weekend off.
And then, wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, bro.
So May 29th, you started work at Collier's.
Yes.
Graduate college on Friday. And you're
Started work Monday, bro.
into the real world 2
Yeah.
days later.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I was urged not to do this, by the way.
Yeah.
My dad told me not to do it. Even the team that I was joining at Collier's told me not to do it.
They were telling you don't work here right off the bat.
Yeah, they told me. They said take some time off to enjoy because once you're in, you're gonna see. And I was like, no. I was like, the faster I get in, this is maybe a thing of math because a lot of people told me not to do that in college. They told me not to take 18 to 27 units every semester, and they said don't finish in 3 years, just finish in 4 years. Why are you trying to grow up? Why are you trying to go so fast, right? But that's just the nature of me. I want to start faster so I can end up finishing faster, right?
Why do you think you have that mentality?
Why do I have that mentality? I don't know. I just want to be the best that I can be all the time. And so, I guess in college, the best that I could be is graduating earlier than everybody and still doing better in every class than anybody.
Is it
Yeah.
intrinsic motivation or is it extrinsic?
I think it's both, to be honest. I feel good about myself when I'm doing really good.
Mhm.
I do. But it also I want other people to, I guess, maybe view me a certain way when I do really good. Right? I don't want to I've said this before in other podcasts, but I don't want to be the guy where they look at me and they're like, "What does that guy know? Who is he? Does he know what he's talking about right now?" I want to be the guy that I can say something and people hold with weight.
Where does that fear come from? I can be a therapist, guys. If you're looking for free therapy, I have no license. I just know how to listen and talk to people. That's
Do
what
you?
I do here at
Yeah.
this podcast.
Just
Continue.
me? Just listen to talk to me? Where does that fear come from?
Yeah, I'm curious because
Mm-hmm.
you're saying. Let me ask you a question
Yeah.
first, though. You do need to answer where that comes from afterwards.
Okay.
But before you let's say nobody that knew who you are as a person, that be your family or friends,
Right.
they wouldn't know that you graduated college.
Yeah.
Would you still want to graduate faster? If nobody
Yes.
else knew,
I still would.
you still would.
Because inside, I still feel like I'm doing really good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Cause,
Yeah, yeah.
Because I hate it when people say everything just needs to be intrinsic.
No.
You know, like humans aren't black and white.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we are
Mm-hmm.
technically on the outside, but on the inside, right? Like
Yeah.
there are multiple things that influence you as a person. Like
Yes.
in terms of your example, it was, would you say, mostly yourself motivating you to be your best version and
Yeah.
to expedite things?
For sure.
Okay, so
And I
then
also
that's-
wanted to prove it to myself that I can be better.
I think that's a
right?
healthy thing. I'm glad you cleared that up
Yeah.
because to somebody listening in, they might be thinking of you as a people pleaser.
Really?
Maybe because they're like, this
Yeah.
guy just wants to compete.
No, I'm
yeah.
just trying to be honest. I don't
Mm,
want to just say that
that's good.
I'm doing it just for myself, because the reality is, like, I do enjoy it when people are like they listen to my words, right? I think it
Yeah.
makes me feel good when they
I
listen.
think people pleaser was a wrong
Yeah.
word. Maybe like you want to present your best self, which is not a
Yeah.
bad. Like, what's wrong with that?
I don't think there's anything
Yeah,
wrong. I think,
I
yeah, I think perception is a huge thing in this world.
right.
You need to be perceived a certain way.
And in turn, that helps you look at yourself in a more positive light.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
That's for
and
sure.
that's not that shouldn't be the sole inspiration, but I think
No, yeah.
if people perceive of you in a positive way, that affects you, and you
Absolutely.
need to be conscious of that.
Yeah.
So
I
when
think it affects your confidence a lot,
100%.
right? Yeah.
So when people say, "Who cares what everybody else thinks of you?"
You should.
I think
Yeah.
you need a healthy balance. It's not that you shouldn't care or you
Mhm.
should care. I think there's a healthy in between where
Yeah.
you should be aware of what people are perceiving you as. And if you think they're all wrong, then prove them wrong.
Mm.
But if you think there's some truth to
Yeah.
what they're saying, think about it,
Right.
reflect on it, work towards that.
I agree with you. That's true. I think there needs to be, like you said, a balance. Yeah.
Now back to that question. Where did that fear come from?
The fear
Of
of
not
what?
being your best self.
Of not being my best
Like
self?
of people being like, "Oh, what does this guy know?"
I think that I've always grown up. I've talked about this on the pod. People always had, like, praised me, I guess. Like, my family always praised me, or people always complimented me or whatever, or said, like, it's a weird thing, but in my family, if you guys knew my family and you guys were just watching, it's like Matt is the guy that's going to figure things out, or he's going to be the guy that does it, or whatever, right? And so hearing that your whole life, and then hearing, like I said, there was a teacher in high school, right, and in middle school. They said, they basically said that they weren't sure how I'm gonna turn out, even though I do have potential, right? And so hearing that type of stuff, it like triggers me. Like, okay, my whole life I've been hearing this, but somebody's saying it's not true. So how do I prove that it's true still, right?
How often do you think of those two teachers?
Probably a couple times a month, a few times a month.
Couple. You went from a couple to a few.
Yeah.
Give me a number. How many? There's 30 days in a month.
I don't know, bro. I
Would you-
definitely think about the monthly for sure.
monthly.
Yeah.
You think about those two teachers
Yeah, bro.
that told you you have a lot of potential, bro. But is it actually gonna come to fruition? I don't know.
Yeah.
You think about those two teachers from middle school and high school every single month,
For
and you're
sure.
23 years old.
And I want to reach out. I reached out to one, but I want to reach out to the other.
And what it is that you want to say to these teachers. Think of me as that teacher. Tell me.
What do I want to tell my teachers that
Yeah.
didn't believe in me?
What all they told you was you have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But they said it in a negative connotation, right?
It felt like it.
Yeah.
It was a negative connotation, but it was probably good intent.
So pretend I'm that teacher right now. What would you say to me?
You were right.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I would have said you were right at the time. Maybe I needed self-reflection.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's nothing but love. Like, I appreciate everything that they did. If I don't know, maybe if they didn't do that, I wouldn't push myself so hard.
So you're glad your teachers gave you a cautionary warning? Is that what you would say?
To be honest, dude, I don't know what it exactly was that they gave me or why I think about it so much. Maybe it's because of that extrinsic motivation that I need. Not that I need, but I receive. I received it a lot when I was a kid, right? And so if I received it so much, and all of a sudden a couple people are saying this and that, those are the things that stand out to you. And it definitely stood out to me. I'm not saying I graduated college in 3 years because of these two people specifically, right? But I think that definitely was a motivator. It definitely made me self-reflect a lot. Yeah, for sure.
So what I'm hearing from you,
Yeah.
tell me if I have this
Okay.
wrong.
Let's hear it.
You were raised in a way
Mhm.
that made you really believe in yourself and your potential. And then you met people that said, nah,
Mm.
like, I know you've been told that, but
Yeah.
it's not going to go your way.
Right.
And to fight back, you developed an instinct to always be your best version so the people, the naysayers,
Yeah.
can't be proven right. You
Ex-
developed. It was a combination of fear,
yeah.
the fear of failure, and the fear of letting your family down, that made you have the mentality to just expedite things and be your best version all the time, everywhere, all at once. No pun intended to the movie. That was a great movie, by
That
the
was a
way.
good movie. I think you're right. Yep. Yeah, solve the case, buddy.
That'll be $100 for the 30 minutes.
No thanks. No, but seriously, like, I definitely think that's. Yeah, I think you nailed it, man. I mean, I know, it's
I
the
know I
truth.
nailed it.
I know
Go
it's the
ahead.
truth though, because I've said that exactly as I've told people before. Um, but yeah, I don't know how healthy that is, right? That I'm thinking about these people, whether it's
Every single month.
yeah, whether
And
I
all
need
you have to
to.
say to them is,
But
you're right.
another thing is, like, it's students, like, there's students or friends or acquaintances that have said things to me and like not believing in me, right, or something of the sort. But it didn't hit me as hard as like an adult saying it. Maybe because I know kids don't know shit, and I knew that at the time. That what does this guy know, right? But if it's an adult with years of experience and they see something in me that doesn't take me so serious, why?
Interesting.
Yeah.
For me, I don't discriminate. Anybody who says
Oh,
anything
really?
discouraging to me, I'm like, oh my God.
Do you really?
Yeah, no, I think about it. You think about the naysayers monthly, your teachers, but I mean, I don't want to call them naysayers.
Yeah, yeah. But
Because
call what it is. Yeah, yeah.
sure, because
Uh-huh.
at the time you felt like they were naysayers.
Right.
I think of them every day at the gym.
Every
I do.
day.
Not every like I think of somebody
Yeah.
that said something discouraging to me over the course of my life at the gym,
Okay.
and it just fuels me.
It pumps you up.
It pumps
Hell
me
yeah.
up. I think of that specific moment where they told me that thing
Yeah.
that just stuck with me, and I think of their faces, and I'm just like, here's 50th pull up in a row.
50th
I've never
pull up
done
in a
that,
row.
but here's my 50th pull up in your
Yeah,
face.
dude.
No, but you know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
does. I think of those people every day, and yeah, I can understand that.
But what is it that you're trying to get at the gym? Why at
I'm
the
just.
gym?
It's a reminder because the gym. I think it should be in other. No, it's not just the gym, but that's the most consistent place
That
that
happens.
happens to me.
But
Like
every
it
day at
does
the gym.
every day. Not yeah, almost every day. Almost every day it happens at the gym. I do think of those things other times as well. Like
But it
when I'm
angers
doing
you.
Yeah, like when I'm doing a stand up set and I
Yeah.
feel tired, I'm like, this guy said I'm not funny. I
Mm.
remember that. I remember that. I'm not gonna let this guy win, and then I go up on stage, do my thing.
Yeah. So you
Get
think about different people in your past that
Yeah,
fit the
yeah.
moment.
Right. Not all the time, right? I'm not like
Yeah,
hyper
yeah.
obsessive.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
be clear. But yeah, I do think of it. It is in the front of my mind
Yeah.
sometimes.
So
For sure.
somebody that may have said something about you not doing well in school, if you were studying, like maybe in college, would you think about them?
School's a little different
Okay.
because like if somebody has said, "Oh, you suck at biology," like my
Fair.
yeah, I'm
No, but
like,
I'm not
yeah,
saying
I do
bio.
suck
I'm
at
just
biology.
saying like
Yeah.
you're not that smart, basically, or you can be better, or
No, it's the things that I care about the most.
so
Like
you shouldn't care about education.
no.
Yeah,
I cared about education.
yeah.
No, but it's the things that I really care about. Like if somebody
Mhm.
tells me, "Dude, you're a terrible swimmer," I'm like, "Yeah, I am a terrible swimmer." I'm
Okay.
not gonna
No, yeah,
the
that's
next
fair.
time. I think it's the things I care about. For instance, stand up.
Okay.
For instance, playing basketball. That's something. The things I really care about, like
So when
cricket.
people say you suck at basketball, it makes you think about it.
Hell yeah! If somebody tells
Wow.
me, yeah, and I have a lot of things to improve on in basketball.
Yeah.
I really do.
Basketball?
Yeah. Have I told the story of how my team lost in basketball?
No, you have not.
Let's do that for another day. We'll talk about sports,
Okay.
and I'll talk about
Okay.
that story because I don't want to go here because I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah.
going through it.
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
still
lot of talk on
processing
sports.
it,
Yeah, yeah.
processing the defeat. um, played in a tournament and we lost. It was my
Okay.
fault. I'll go into it later in another podcast.
Recently?
Yeah, I never told you this.
No.
Really,
No.
dude. You know the problem.
You do remember?
The problem with doing stand up is I say a lot of stuff on
Uh-huh.
stage and then I tell people and I just like forget. Did I say this to that
Oh.
person on stage? Did I say it to my
That's
parents?
not good, bro.
Huh?
That's not good.
No, because I'm talking so much every single day. You forget.
Yeah, bro, but you should you should figure out a system. Because that's
No,
not
I know
healthy,
I
bro.
know for sure I told this
You're
on
conflating your comedy sets with real life.
No. I'm conflating who I told this to. Like, did I say it on stage and did I tell that person too, or do you know what I'm saying or
Oh,
no?
got it.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Okay.
conflating reality with comedy.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
Okay. I was
doing.
like,
No, I'm not doing that.
bro,
No,
you're a
no,
year in. That should be
no, no, no,
10
no,
years
no,
later. Okay.
no.
All
That's
right.
not. But back to the concept
Yeah.
of regret. So your regret is not performing to the best of your ability at this.
I haven't even gotten to that part yet, huh?
Yeah, so go
Yeah.
into it. What do you think you didn't do in those
Okay.
4
All right.
months?
Let me just finish the story real quick. I mean, we're basically at the end of the story, but I finished college 20, right? I go to Colliers the Monday after I graduate, okay? In my head, I am the guy. Like, I graduated top of my class. I'm 20 years old. I'm getting into commercial real estate. I got into one of the big four. There's something about Matt G that can do it, right? That's what's in my head. These guys are saying, "Oh, commercial real estate is a difficult task." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's difficult, but I can do it. You don't know me." And that's what's going on in my head. So maybe it's an arrogance play, right? So maybe in hindsight, maybe it was an arrogance play. Okay, I'm starting to get in. I get in at 7 a.m. every day, busting ass, trying to make calls, trying to figure out, not even make calls as a salesperson, trying to understand the commercial game. Not and even more specifically than commercial, industrial, and even more specifically than industrial, 100,000 square foot buildings and above. How do I get into big box commercial real? Sorry, how do I get into big box industrial real estate and make a move on these heavy hitters? Okay, that is extremely difficult to get into 100,000 square foot plus, and especially, I mean, I look young. I don't look 23, right? So imagine at 20, I probably looked like a 14-year-old kid,
More like 10.
maybe a 10-year-old kid going and door knocking on these fucking 200,000 square foot buildings.
Yeah.
And the president comes out because I lie to the concierge and tell them that I have a meeting with the president. He comes out to see me, and he's like, "Who are you, bro?"
Wait, did I see you on my middle school game with my boys
Yeah,
at basketball practice?
exactly.
Yeah.
No, but I'm sure that's happened. I mean, that's happened so many times. In sales, everybody that's a salesperson knows this. You have to figure out a way to talk to who's in charge, right? That's just it, right? Whether it's acting first, apologizing later, whatever it may be, you have to figure it out. And so in this case, getting into these big box industrial warehouses, it's extremely difficult because the guys that are presidents and CEOs are making 10, 20 mil a year, and it's like, why do they need to talk about their next lease that's up in a month? I mean, in a year, because they have people for that. But what you have to understand, I guess, in real estate, I know I'm going on a tangent in real estate now, but what you have to understand in real estate is if you get to the head guy, they are the one that holds the weight even more than the decision maker in the specific real estate field, right? Leasing. But anyway, so I'm going and doing all this, and there's something that's not working, right? Along the way, something's not working. I'm getting meetings, but I'm not closing anything. Or my teammates aren't seeing the value that I'm providing. There's something that's not happening in me. And instead of continuing, instead of pivoting, right? This is where I learned pivoting properly. Instead of pivoting my strategy and techniques, I doubled down.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually forwent my what is it called? My due diligence on who I was knocking doors on, who am I talking to? I'm just going for numbers now, right? And I'm trying to be a hunter basically, but it didn't.
What is
work.
that? Oh, a
A
hunter.
hunter? Yeah, like a
I
hunter.
mean Hunter Biden. I was like, what?
No, bro, like a yeah.
So I don't know you were like that. I didn't know you had that kind of lifestyle.
No, dude. No, like I'm trying to be a hunter for my team, and something's not working. There was a few times we had issues, and at the end of the day, 4 months later, I was basically ousted out of Colliers, right? And
Ousted.
yeah, I would say ousted, bro. I would say ousted.
You were ousted. That means you
would
were
say-
working one day
Yes.
and they were like, yo, get up. Politely, obviously. I don't know if that's what happened, but they're like, Matt G, I know you thought you were the guy, but time for you to go
You want
back.
to know exactly how it went down?
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'll put it on the pod how exactly it went down.
Yeah. This is you at 20 years old.
I was 20 years old.
Fresh off the bat of college,
Yes.
getting ousted from one of the biggest commercial real estate companies in the world.
Yes.
Go ahead. How did that happen?
This was my first real job.
Yes.
Okay. I get up that morning because Friday. So, okay, this is how it goes down. Friday, everything's cool. Actually, I finished my workday a little early. I went to some event. I was talking to my team. Everything was good. I had meetings set up for Monday. Monday, I wake up 7 a.m. or not. I don't wake up at 7. I wake up at 6. I'm at the client's place at 7:30, 8 a.m. Right? I go to 5, 6 places, and I felt pretty good because I got a couple more meetings for the next one, and I was stoked. I was texting the guys, and I thought it was weird because they were not texting me back. But I was like, okay, whatever. They're just busy, right? So I go. I grab
These are the partners of the firm.
my not partners
or
these
your
are,
mentors.
these are my mentors. Yeah,
Your
essentially.
supervisors.
Essentially.
Go ahead.
Yes. I take food. I get food, right? So I go to Pollo Loco, grab my food. I go back to my office, and I'm talking to the guys. I'm stoked because I got more meetings, and they're like, they don't say anything to me. And the guy's walking out of his office, and I'm like, "What up, dude?" Because he didn't hear me the first time, right? And he just looks at me, goes, and I'm like, "Okay." So I go and I'm watching YouTube while I'm eating.
So they don't say anything
they
for
don't
those
say
listening in. Yeah.
Nothing.
You
Not
say,
even,
"What up, dude?" And they're like, just nodding their
Just-
head. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like a mafia movie or something?
It was weird, bro.
We
It was
got
a
the
very
bids.
weird
We
thing.
got the bids.
Even the guy that was closer in age to me, he was like my closer mentor. He's next to me, and he's like, "Oh, nice." Usually he has feedback. He's like, "Oh, what happened, bro? Okay, instead if that happens, you do this." And there's something constructive, something, right?
He's like,
Nothing.
"Oh,
He's like, "Oh,
nice."
nice." Okay.
Stoic
That's-
faces. Yes.
That's my so that was a senior associate, right? The one that usually gives me some feedback, and then the vice president of our team, that's the one that nodded, right? Okay. Managing director. So in every real estate company, there's managing directors, right? And they manage a few brokerages throughout whatever counties there is. Managing director comes to my desk, and she goes, "Hey, can I have a minute with you?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And I don't know what it's about. We go in, and usually we'll be in like the lunchroom, but she takes me to an office.
Hmm.
I sit down with her, and she's like, "Hey, can we talk a little bit?" She's like, "How's everything going?" I'm like, "I know there was a few rough patches like a couple months ago, but I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. I got some more meetings today, and by the way, the meetings I'm getting, they're not chintzy 5,000, 10,000 square foot buildings, which still you want to know the commission on 10,000 square foot building? It'll still be about $25,000. Okay, and that's chintzy to these guys. Okay,
Chintzy. Like your vocabulary today.
Thank you. I'm getting meetings for buildings that are 150,000 square feet, 200,000 square feet. For my team, that would brew probably 1.5 mil. I'm getting meetings for these. So it's my job to get the meetings. It's their job to go in and close. Essentially, that's what it is, right? And then I help with all the background work. Pulls me in. I'm like, I feel pretty good. Like, I know things were going wrong, but I finally like figured out the momentum. And she's like, well, that's good. She's like, but unfortunately, this is gonna be your last day here.
That's what she said to all
And
that.
I said, what do you mean? And she's like,
You said, what do you mean? When she said,
I didn't say, what do you mean? I said, can I ask why?
Okay, so you didn't say that.
No,
you
I
said,
didn't say, what do you mean? I said, can I ask why? Like, what went wrong? Or
Mm-hmm.
and I was nervous, right? Because
Yeah.
this is a head honcho telling a young buck, like, head out.
What is happening with this vocabulary? Head honcho, young buck. You sound like you're 70 years old. Okay.
So I asked why.
Yeah.
And she tells me, you just weren't the right fit for the team. And I'm like, what do you mean? That's when I said, what do you mean by that? And she's like, it turns out they didn't need another sales guy. They needed somebody more behind the scenes handling volume, basically, volume of transactions, a transaction coordinator, if you will. And I was like, really? And in my head, I'm like instant bullshit because I've worked with these guys. These guys do 3 deals a year. Why do you need a transaction coordinator if you only have 3 deals a year? Doesn't make sense. If anything, you need more deals to make more money for yourself, right?
You need sales guys.
You need sales.
She was lying to you.
She was lying.
To make you feel better?
Better, probably. And I'm like, okay. And I said, thank you for the opportunity. And that was it. And I walked out. We'll go to my desk, and I'm sitting there for a few minutes because the guy that was the one that's more that was kind of mentoring me more, the younger guy, he actually, as soon as I was walking out, he went to a meeting. So I was waiting 10 minutes because I want to talk to him because he was cool with me. And he wasn't coming out, and I texted him. He was in a meeting, and I was like, whatever. So I just packed my stuff up. I went to the VP, and I was like, hey, dude, thank you for the opportunity again. Can I just ask, like, what went wrong? What could I have done better in? And he goes, not right now. He's like, have a good one. and he gave me knuckles, and I looked and I was like, okay. And then I packed my stuff up and I headed out the office. And later that day, the guy texted me.
The
He
VP.
goes, no, not the VP, the other guy, the senior.
So the
associate.
guy left you hanging with the knuckles. That's
No,
it.
no, he gave me knuckles. He went like that.
He would just give you a fist. Was he busy on the phone or
No.
something?
I'm gonna tell you something about. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything. But later the senior associate texted me. He was like, "Hey, dude, I'll give you a call later tonight." No call. Week goes by. He texts me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm not leaving you hanging. I've been busy."
Yeah, that's it.
And I was like, "Okay, thank you." And I was like, "Yeah, call me whenever." Never called me.
Never called you again.
Completely left me hanging. And that's the one I thought had my back.
Yeah. Wow.
And so that's how ruthless this industry can be. Something I found out later was a couple deals went on. So, I mean, in a team structure, right, everyone gets a percent of commission. Even if I just join, I get something, a few percent, right, for helping them out with transactions or being part of the team, whatever it is. They did some very sizable deals almost a month after I left.
Did you get those meetings for those deals?
No, those I did not get. Those were recurring, right?
Would you have profited, though, from those deals?
A couple percent of the deal.
Did they pay you when you were there for 4 months?
They gave me, and this is something I give to their credit. What they did, I didn't want to take anything. I wanted nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they were like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to eat what I kill, basically." And they were like, "No, just take something every month." And so it was nothing. It was $1,250 every 2 weeks. It was $1,000 every 2 weeks, which is nothing, but it was enough for gas.
No, I mean that's
something, right?
So that was $2,500 a month.
$2,500 a month, basically.
Okay, yeah. So
For
you got paid.
working 12-hour days.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just saying, comparatively to what I was doing in work, it wasn't much. But to their credit, I'm glad that they did that because that at least kept me afloat with gas. I didn't have to put things on my credit cards. Obviously, I only got one deal done. And that wasn't enough. So to them, they're like, "Look, man, I know you want to eat what you kill, but slow down. Just when you get your deal done, you'll pay us back, basically." And so that's what they did. Or like, I never paid them back because that one deal paid something back. But yeah, I'll give.
So
that
you
to
made 10,000 in 4 months, $2,500 a month.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then did you make any from the commission on that deal?
No, that paid directly back to my. So it was basically a loan that they were giving me.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially a loan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you regret, it seems to me you were working in a place that just didn't respect your talent, and the two guys that you thought had your back just turned out to be pretty much assholes. Like, there's no other way to say it.
But everyone has a story, right? Maybe they saw things a little different. Maybe I was a liability.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
obviously they'll have their perspective.
Yeah.
But I don't appreciate in this story how the guy who was the VP at this company fist bumped you and was like, "Not at this time."
That I won't. Yeah, that was just disrespectful.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
You see a young kid in front of you who's 20, fresh out of college.
Yeah.
You hung out with him, right?
I used to hang out with him. We used to go on motorcycle rides.
You used to go on motorcycle rides with this guy, and he's like, "Yo, not right now." What? That just goes to show how some people just become so arrogant
Yeah.
that they forget decent manners, like basic humanity.
Yeah.
Even if the guy hated you, I think he could have said to you something. He could have told you, like, "Don't do
Some
this."
feedback,
Maybe like a killer, like
Yeah.
discouraging line that you'd rather remember, but he was just like, "Not right now."
Yeah.
And he fist bumped you. That's basically like saying "F you."
It's basically saying you're not important enough to fill my time right now.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm glad you got this experience in because
glad I got
you
the
hit
experience.
rock bottom. That's basically rock bottom, right? Getting fired from your first job. You getting fired, then you go back to your table, you gather your things, you wait for the other guy. How did that feel? Like, I don't even want to. That's just a rhetorical question, right? Like,
I
that's
just felt like a loser.
yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to go through, man.
In this brokerage, by the way, I mean, it's top 4, right? But in our specific office, there's only 20 guys, all making $500,000 plus a year. And so me thinking that I can, if I'm in this office, I can get there. And all of a sudden, They're like, nope, you just filled up our indexes. Now you got to hit the road.
Mm.
That's like, was I being used?
What do you mean indexes?
Indexes as in like filling their databases, basically.
That's what you. That's
That's
part
what I
of your
did.
job.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a big value add that I add to the team. Making calls, filling in information that was unknown to us. When our lease is going to be available? When did they close down? Who's the president now? Did they leave? Just all these types of details. Yeah,
Just to make it more structured.
structure. Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
Yep.
And that's your biggest regret, like just
I
not.
just felt like a loser, bro.
Yeah.
I just felt like a loser. I felt like I could do something big at 20. I was like, yeah, dude, I'm 20 right now. I can do something. I can do something. And then when somebody shuts you down,
Mm.
it's like I can't do something.
But technically speaking, you didn't quit, so it
No,
wasn't
I
in
didn't
your
quit.
power to
Yeah.
not continue. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
But in a way, it's even worse. It was out of my control, and they didn't see the value in me.
yeah, that's interesting. So that's your biggest regret that
I'd
you
say so.
sometimes. Do you ever have nightmares about that? Because that is pretty, like, it's a pretty heavy thing.
In the
to go-
beginning, I would think about it
Mm.
a lot, but I wanted to call them so bad, just give me something. But it's like, for what? Call them for what? They didn't thought I was unimportant. Why am I gonna give them anything? I don't
Mm.
want to give them any satisfaction that I needed them or wanted them. Because at the end of the day, I'm fine. I have my own warehouse now. I have my own business, right? I'm just the guy that I'll just figure shit out. Like, tell me no, f you. I'll be hurt about it, but trust me, I don't need you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's always humiliating when that happens in person. You know, like face to face.
Yeah.
But it's empowering to have that.
It's
'Cause-
I don't know if humiliating, yes, but I think more humiliating for them because that's just like you said, it's indecent. You can't. I worked with you for 4 months. I was looking up to you as a mentor.
Not the managing director
Yeah.
that told you it was gonna be your last day, because that's
That's their
tough.
job.
Yeah, it's their
Yeah.
job. But yeah, that guy who gave you a fist bump and the other guy who
Yeah.
said he was gonna text you after a week and never
Yeah.
said anything back. But yeah, that's the nature of things and professional life, and that happens.
Yeah. You
I'm
just
sure this is a very common occurrence
what is
in
that?
just
Yeah, it's a very
professionals.
common occurrence.
Yeah.
I think what it does is builds character, it builds
Yeah.
tough skin. And what I learned from that is I can't rely on anybody. I am the person in my life that's going to make shit happen, right? And I was maybe in a way relying on them to teach me information,
Mhm.
right? Paladus, I didn't rely on anybody to teach me anything. I was just the guy that went out, asked questions. They didn't tell me anything, but they gave me some snippet here. Another guy's going to give me some snippet here. I used to go into warehouses not knowing who to talk to. I would literally look at labels on pallets or boxes and put together information, and just like that, by puzzling everything together. Maybe it took me longer than if I had a mentor, but at least I can say I was the one that did it.
This is why I think having a sense of humor is important in workplaces.
Oh my god, yes.
Because if everybody on your team is taking life
serious.
so seriously to every single second that you're in the office,
Yeah.
it's not like tensions will always be high. Like if
Mm.
somebody says something that you're not supposed to say, or somebody messes up, it's gonna be like tense. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be awkward. And like if you compare that to a workplace where there is a sense of humor, you guys mess around, play
Right.
around, and
It's
work
healthy.
hard, play hard. That's more
Yeah.
healthier,
Yeah.
right? Like you should have that in every workplace. I have a similar, not a story of that to that degree, but my first ever internship that I did
I remember
in high
this,
school.
yeah.
I was a junior in high school. Was I a junior? No, I was a junior actually.
Okay, no, I don't remember.
It was the spring of my junior year, I think. No,
Okay.
it was the fall. It was the fall of my senior year actually.
Okay.
Fall of my senior year in high school. I'm doing this internship for a congresswoman in her district office, right?
Okay.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this was like I watched all these TV shows like House of Cards and Scandal, and I was like, politics, oh my god, it's just gonna be like that.
Yeah.
And I get in the first day and I was like, oh, this is nothing like that. What? We have desks and chairs and it's just a regular job. So my job was, one of the jobs was, I was just like the guy who sat at the front, took some calls from people who
Okay.
called in, received people,
Yeah.
and then, just manage like clerical work in the office, like basic stuff.
Unpaid?
Yes, it was unpaid internship. And Which, like, at the time, I was like, fine, I don't, what,
Yeah.
money? I don't need money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't an object of importance for me at the time.
Right.
Not because I had money, it was because, like, that's all I had known. Like,
No money. Yeah,
yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
we're
yeah,
making
that's
money
another day
anyway,
for me.
yeah.
$0 in the bank account, -0. So I'm doing my work, and at the end of your shift every day, I think it was every day or every single time I'd go in, which wasn't every day. It was like 3 to 4 days a week or something like that.
Okay.
You would have to make a report of what you did during the day.
Okay.
Because the job was so redundant, things were just the same every day.
Yeah.
And I was just like, one of the days, I was like, today was another mundane day in my report.
You wrote that.
I was like, today was another mundane day.
Yeah.
I did the same. This is me after some weeks, right, of
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
this. It wasn't just like the second day after that or third day.
Okay.
It took me some time to come up with the word mundane.
Yeah.
And the next day, the supervisor
Yeah.
brings me into an office. She sits me down. She's pissed off. She's
Yeah.
red. She's like, I read your report. You used the word mundane to describe your work. Everybody in the office feels offended.
What?
And this is me, a 17-year-old kid who is in high school.
Yeah.
By the way, props to me for using the word mundane.
Yeah.
I don't know how many 17-year-olds know the word mundane. You should actually be giving me credit for using such a high vocabulary word. But I'll let that slide. I was like, okay, fine. Like, I was, again, scared because I was like, yo, what the hell?
Yeah.
And she was like, you know how many interns we fired over the years? And I was like, no. I was like, and she was like, you should be so grateful for the opportunity you have. You should treat this work like it's not mundane. And in my mind, I was like
it's not
something
Monday?
like
Okay,
that. And I
yeah.
was like, it is pretty mundane, bro. I do the same shit every single day.
Yeah.
And her face was just red. She was angry at me. And I had to go back, finish the rest of my shift.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, my mom used to drop me off a lot of the time, but I would take the bus back. So
Okay.
it was hard work trying to
Yeah.
get to this place and get back.
Right.
Like, take the bus, have to wait for
Yeah.
the bus.
Where was it?
It was in Norwalk.
Okay.
You know that movie theater we usually go to? Every single time we go there, I think of that internship because it was in
Yes.
that area.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just like, I got emotional after, like, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get fired, bro. I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get fired. But thankfully, I just championed through the rest of the internship.
Yeah.
Things closed, and at the end, they actually
Oh, they didn't fire you.
they didn't fire me. They actually
Oh.
brought a cake for me at the end.
They-
And I was like, I was like, wow.
Well, that's
Going
not
for a
similar at all.
huh?
That's not similar at all.
That was like so like passive aggressive, bro. I was
Yeah.
like, yo, 3 weeks ago I was gonna get fired for using the word mundane, and now y'all brought out the cake for me. But she wasn't there, my supervisor. She was like
wasn't?
gone, something like
Oh,
that. Yeah,
okay.
maybe she was. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what? She gave me a letter of recommendation for college too. But I was
Really?
just like, that thing didn't need to happen. Like, me getting called into the office.
Right.
She could have made a joke. She's like, "Oh my God, bro, don't use the word mundane. Like, I
Yeah.
get it, it's boring. Suck
Right.
it up. Just, like, you should have that relationship
Make
with
it
your
lively, yeah,
employees.
for sure.
Like, it should be a responsibility of your supervisor or your employer
Yeah.
to break the ice, to loosen up the tensions, to, like, make it
Yeah,
okay
yeah.
to do something wrong in the workplace, because it's bound to happen. You're human. And if you
100%.
don't create those spaces, you're just working in a zone of being uncomfortable, and that's not productive.
Right.
And so many people who run businesses and employers don't realize that. They're like, what? This is
Yeah.
not a comedy club. But I'm like, yo, I'm not saying you're going to be roasting each other the whole time. Just have that sense of, like, ease with each other, you know?
I agree.
Yeah. So it's not the same thing, but I understand, because that day I was like,
You're scared. Yeah.
I thought I was gonna get fired because
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
called into the office. She sat me down. She was so pissed. I'll never forget how red she was. I was like, God damn, is the word mundane that triggering? I was like,
Maybe she's a quite
wow.
mundane person.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what got her.
That reminded me. I've gone fired once
Okay.
from a job. This
Yeah.
was actually my first job out of college as well.
Out of college.
Yeah. This
Okay.
was on Zoom though. This was in Zoom in
Yeah.
December of 2022. And the way they fired us, bro, was very scary, because they sent us an email out of the blue, out of nowhere,
Yeah.
telling us that they needed to make some cuts because they over budgeted,
Okay.
or what they did was they overhired. Sorry.
Overhired. Gotcha.
And I worked in political consulting for this company, and
Yeah.
this is 2022 December, November 30th.
December.
This is after the election,
Got
and
it.
obviously after the election, a lot of their clients leave because they lost elections,
Yeah.
etc. And I asked my supervisor like a couple months before. I was like, "Yo, how are we gonna sustain this? Because the election's
Mm.
coming up.
Yeah.
Like numbers are looking, fundraising numbers looking kind of low." It's like, "No, we'll be fine." And I was like, "Fine." It wasn't his fault, by the way,
Yeah.
because he was just a supervisor.
He's
He
just doing
wasn't
his
a
job.
partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, things are fine." But
Right.
I was like, "I don't think so."
Yeah, you felt something wrong.
I felt
Mm.
something was off, and
Yeah.
then surely enough, out of the blue, I get this email, and I'm like, "Whoa!" They say they're gonna be releasing people,
Right.
and the way they did it was so stupid because they basically sent people Google invitation links randomly on a day, and I was like, "Is that supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing?"
Right.
But it turned out to be a terrible thing.
Right.
Because I got a Google invitation set, and it was like it wasn't just all at once. It was one by one. So on Slack, we're all slacking like, "Yo, did you get it? Not yet. I got it."
Oh.
So we're all just like waiting. Yo, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Yeah,
And
they
then
should have sent all of you guys.
I get it.
Yeah.
It should just be like a group meeting. Just get
Right.
it done with all of. But they want. I understand why they want
Yeah.
to be
yeah.
respectful and
I
like,
get it too, but
So
it
yeah,
sucks.
today, and the lady was so nice. She was like, "Hey man, today's gonna be your last day, unfortunately." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yep." I was like, I recorded it actually because I wanted it saved. Just that first memory of getting laid off.
Okay.
It's somewhere on my phone. If
Really?
the HR person was listening, yeah, sorry, I recorded you because I was just like, yeah, I just like the fuel me or whatever. But
Do you
I
ever
was
watch it?
laughing. No, I haven't listened to it.
Okay.
I was smiling because it wasn't that bad. Because honestly, I wasn't happy at that job. I didn't
Okay.
want to do it.
Yeah.
And the period after that was some of the best time of my life, bro. We wrote
Oh,
deuces.
yeah.
We wrote palms. Every single day I would go to
You
hollows.
didn't tell me at the time.
Yeah, I don't tell those things to people, man. Yeah.
Were you embarrassed?
No, I wasn't embarrassed. I was just like nobody. It's just like because when you leave some job, you just
Yeah.
feel like, oh, everybody like I don't need sympathy. I
I
don't need a
get it,
pity
I get
party.
it,
I'm just
yeah.
gonna what? It's not that because
Yeah.
it wasn't that important to me. Like it wasn't like a college
Right.
for me. I was just like, yo, I'm just here trying to pay
I
the
get it.
bills, fill up the time. It's a remote job. I'll do it.
Fill up the time.
Yeah, but I did it for 3
Literally,
months,
Yeah.
and 3 months, yeah.
What's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret in life is not pursuing professional cricket. I grew up in Pakistan
Right.
for 12 years. I immigrated to America in 2013. Growing up in Pakistan, my biggest dream was
Mhm.
to play for the Pakistani cricket team. And when you immigrate to America
Yeah.
in 2013, cricket is not that big.
Right.
So I was like, there was a unsaid understanding that this was not going to be the reality.
Mm.
And so I was like, fine. It was sad. I missed watching cricket. It was first of all, in 2013 was really hard to watch cricket. Like it was harder.
Really?
Yeah, you'd have to like pay for this like Jadu box
Oh,
they call it
gotcha. In
because
America.
yeah, in America it was hard to
Oh, got
watch,
it, Yeah.
and my family wasn't doing well financially, so you had to like just it was an
Yeah.
extra cost. But a couple years go by, people start to play it at my mosque, and I'm like, yo, let me get back into it. So I start bowling again.
Okay.
Uh, What did you say, Russ? Wicked? Yeah, that's one of the things in cricket. But yeah, man, so time elapsed, and somehow when I was like 18, 19 in college, I got really back into it, like hardball cricket. There was a mosque tournament that was happening, and they invited me to play, and I
Yeah.
was like, yo, this is amazing. But I was at that point, because so many years had lapsed,
Right.
I didn't have that affinity. I was like, oh, this is not a realistic dream,
Yeah.
right? Because still at the time, I was like, what the hell? USA cricket team doesn't.
It doesn't even exist. Yeah.
It did exist
Oh,
at
it
the time,
did?
but it just wasn't that good.
Well, I didn't know about it.
Yeah, and now though, in 2024,
Yeah.
cricket is huge in America.
Really huge.
Huge by the country is hosting a cricket World Cup. 34,000 fans just attended the latest Pakistan versus India match in New York City.
In terms
34,000
of sports, that's not
fans.
that many.
In a single game, 34,000 people, that is a lot for a group game in a World Cup for a sport you never had in the country before. That's amazing. Those are insane numbers. But my point is, cricket is
Angry
it's-
guy.
cricket is really huge in America right
Yeah.
now. And just watching all these cricket players
Yeah.
who play for America,
Mm.
like the best bowler they have, which is just a pitcher, if in
Okay.
case you don't know what bowling means.
Yeah.
Bowling is pitching. Dude, he's a lead engineer at Oracle. That's his 9 to 5.
Yeah. That's badass.
And he's a professional cricket player.
That's badass.
He makes like $100,000 for a cricket team, which the money doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But my point is, he's 31. He has a job. And he's pursuing cricket, and he's great at it.
Yeah.
So great, they beat my country, Pakistan. America beat Pakistan at cricket. Moment of silence. Yes, that's the
I
right
heard Pakistan's
response.
not very good though.
No, we're one of the best. What are you talking about, dog? We're one of the best in the world.
I'm just saying. I've heard otherwise.
You've heard that Pakistan isn't good?
Yes.
At times, we can't be that good. But the game they just played against India was really close, too. So
Nice.
America is genuinely really good at T20 cricket, which is a specific format.
Okay.
But
America's
Pakistan
really, yeah,
losing to America, bro,
it's a big deal.
is if Pakistan beat America at baseball. How crazy is that?
Yeah, yeah.
But my point is, my regret is,
Yeah.
I'm venting here, but my regret is not pursuing it. I think
Are you gonna pursue it?
so.
Okay.
Like I'm getting, because the thing about sports, man, is I think 75% of sports is a mental game. Like, do you believe you have it what it takes to be? Do you believe you have what it takes to be the best player on the team or to be able to contribute?
Right.
And like you have to be in the right mindset to do that. So
Have you played since we last talked?
yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
Good.
I actually played 3 days ago.
Nice.
I went out to the Nets, bowled for a couple hours. I'm playing at a game actually this Sunday.
Are
So
you?
yeah,
So
I'm
you're
getting.
on a team right now.
I'm not on a team, but I'm playing. If I do good, maybe I could get called back. But like a local team, right?
Okay.
It's like local levels, state, national. But I think I have what it takes, bro. Because it's
You
yeah.
gotta practice a lot though.
You have to practice a lot. It's a professional sport. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I have to train like crazy. But it's just one of those things where I was thinking about it. I was like, I'm 23 right now.
Yeah.
And if I could go back to my 19-year-old self, I'd be like, yo, just play more cricket. Like you could,
Right.
because if 5 years have lapsed
You
from that
could've-
time in
yeah.
college, and I think I could have not. Maybe you never know.
Yeah, you never know, bro.
Yeah,
Especially cricket's not that big. So
in terms of the competition,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not as big in America.
You're
You're
right.
saying I'm
Not
so
much
bad at
competition.
cricket. I could have probably made it in because everybody else
Probably.
sucks. No, they're really good. They're actually really good. But
yeah.
yeah, see, ifs. I don't want what ifs, man.
But it's life, brother.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like I was thinking about this today before coming here. I was like, if I'm 65 on my deathbed,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be thinking about this, bro.
You will be thinking about it?
Yeah, it's gonna keep me up at night. Like literally keep me up. Because when I see these cricket matches, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I could be doing this. I could be bowling. I'm a bowler. I'm a fast bowler. And I look at the athleticism of some of the players,
Yeah.
and I'm like, skill wise, I might not be there, but in
Mhm.
terms of just athleticism, I'm there. Like in
Gotcha.
terms of fitness,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
there. In terms of strength, I'm there. I just have to put in
The
the
work.
years that it takes,
Yeah.
and I think it's possible. And I think this is the time. This is the only time where I can make it happen. Like if I wait a couple more years, it's over.
done. Yeah, for
But
sure.
23 right now, if
Still
I put in the
tough.
work, it's still hard, but
Yeah.
it's possible. It's
This
not
is-
impossible.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about it. What is impossible?
Nothing.
NBA. Like if I can't,
well, true.
that's impossible.
yeah.
There's some sports where it's actually impossible.
True.
Like I swam today. I was like, I can never be a swimmer. Impossible. Even if I put my mind to it, I
No,
can't
I
do
think
it.
you can.
Regardless, you have
Yeah.
to love it, right?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
love swimming.
You don't love swimming. Gotcha.
I love basketball though, but I know, yo, it's the reality. I'm not 6'5".
Yeah.
I can't play professional basketball, right?
Right.
But Russ said he can't. I just can't play it, right? I
Yeah.
can't compete with those guys. I get it. I accept it.
Right.
But cricket, I can play it. I believe in it. I love the sport.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, there's an opportunity there. And I just don't want to live with that regret. So
Comedy, acting, cricket. You're on your deathbed. Which one are you gonna regret the most not fulfilling?
I'll be honest with you, bro. Ever since I was a little kid, like
Yeah.
my dream was to play
Cricket.
professional cricket. So
Yeah.
if I could pick and be really amazing,
Yeah, one of the three.
I would pick cricket.
You'd
dude.
pick cricket.
I would pick cricket. And this
Really?
is like very hypocritical of me to say because a lot of my time and effort right now is going to stand up.
right.
Like all of it. I love comedy too, but it's just going to kill me, bro. Because I have this, yeah.
All right. What if so? If you pursue cricket like the way you should, you're gonna have to compromise some time.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have to compromise a lot of time. But the thing is about cricket is you don't. What was that? Oh, that was the alarm. But yeah, you have to. Yeah, I have to make
And
sacrifices.
you're okay to sacrifice time in comedy and being a comedian.
Yeah, I don't need to though. That's the thing. I don't need to because right now I'm gonna build up. Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go all out every single day.
Right, right.
I'm gonna build up. So my strategy right now is just to play like 2 times a week,
Okay.
2 to 3 times,
Yeah.
and then I'll amp it up more and more. The problem is, cricket it requires a lot, like a pitch, nets, and I have to drive.
To a certain area.
I can practice bowling in like
Yeah.
a local park, but it won't be the same. I'll try to do that, but yeah. which is like stand up too, I guess.
So
You have to
what's
drive
your?
far.
How are you gonna balance?
I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I don't even like all of this is just me talking.
No, yeah.
But yeah,
An ideal world, how are you gonna balance?
ideal word. There's 24 hours in a day.
Yes.
You put in 4 hours. You just 8 hours of sleep, 16 left. You put in 4 into comedy, 4 into cricket, the rest of it into whatever else needs to be done.
Podcasting.
Podcasting. That's not important. No, I'm kidding. It
There's
is
a lot,
important.
bro.
It is
Yeah.
important, of course.
It's good.
But yeah. I mean, I think I need to work harder at cricket than podcasting. You know
No,
what I'm
no,
saying?
yeah, but it takes time to do this.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying, yeah.
Podcasting is
I'm
hard,
saying
too.
time-wise, yeah.
Can I just say, people always like bag on us
Yeah.
in our comments.
Yeah.
Make podcast equipment more expensive.
Yeah.
Make mics more expensive. Who are these two guys sitting like that, talking about life, giving me advice on
Right.
how to fix my broken life? Podcasting is an art form. We're new to it, and we're learning, and it
Yes.
takes time. I'm aware of that,
Right.
and I'm gonna keep at it, even if you make podcasting equipment more expensive, which
Keep
won't
at it.
apply to us because we're using the same mics we had 5 years ago.
True. And it still sounds great.
Screw you, TikTok commenter.
Screw you, YouTube.
User 641523778.
Bro, screw the comments. These guys are all just people that hate their lives. You asked, what's my biggest regret? They're living in their biggest regret right now because they're not doing anything. Their biggest regret in life is going to be not doing anything with their life, right? At least my regret is doing something, trying. At least we're trying to do something with this podcast.
Maybe they're just sick. They just get pleasure.
Maybe they're just sick,
Maybe they're
yeah.
just doing really well.
True.
Maybe it's a millionaire sitting
True.
in his
Me-
yacht with a bunch of people, and he's like, you know what? These two guys, who are they?
Maybe it's their guilty
Why don't I
pleasure,
have a
bro.
podcast?
Yeah.
Why am I not monetizing my current lifestyle right now? You never know.
It's probably what it is.
Yeah.
It's probably their guilty pleasure to talk shit on people, not to their faces, but online.
That's how they make the millions, right?
Probably.
They put all their time into social media commenting.
Sad life, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Wow, the regret thing, man. I'm really thinking about this now. Because, dude, I don't know. When I say I want to do something, I know you're the same way, and I don't do it, I just feel like that's the worst feeling in the world.
Right.
When I put my mind to something and I fail at it,
Yeah.
but it's only failing. I've said this before, and I didn't say this. I think Kevin Hart said this.
Yeah.
It's only failing if you stop. Gee, Imran Khan also said this, but shut
It
up.
is only failing if you stop. True.
Free Imran Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing with cricket is you have like there's an age thing, right? Comedy, acting, there's no age thing. You can do it when you're 60.
No.
You can.
Comedy is an age thing. The thing in comedy, bro, I'll tell you all this.
Okay.
There's an age limit to all this.
I don't think so. But
I
go
think
ahead.
so.
Okay.
For acting especially, it's very hard. You see instances of people that
Yeah.
make it in their 40s and 50s
Yes.
and 60s, but
yes.
the prime of your life
Of course.
is 20s.
Of course, there's a prime for
this
everything.
is it. This is the prime
But
right now.
cricket, anything athletic, it's not possible after a certain age.
Yeah,
Your body physically can't do it.
you're
Your
right.
body can physically act. You can think about jokes and tell jokes in a certain manner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but it's so
yeah.
yeah. There is an age limit to sports for sure.
Yeah.
Specific sports, because
Specific.
golf you can play till you're 50.
You can't be great. You're probably not gonna be on a PGA tour now.
At 50?
When you're like 50s.
What if you're
60,
Tiger
yeah.
Woods?
Actually, maybe I'm wrong because Phil Mickelson, he's still out
Yeah.
there, brother. Yeah.
Phil Mickelson is like what, 56?
He's great. Yeah.
Isn't he his
Yeah,
early
he's an older
50s?
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
he's
he's
still
amazing. Tiger's older. He's great.
Yeah, but they were doing it for what? Since they were like little kids, right?
Since 4 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But you cricket, bro, baseball, no way. Your back
Yeah.
will give out.
Yeah. No, cricket for sure. And
Yeah.
especially as a bowler. Bowler
Yeah,
is like
your arm's gonna give out.
yeah.
That's one thing. Regardless, you just play a lot. Doesn't matter if you're professional or not.
Yeah.
As a pitcher, bowler, whatever,
Your arm.
done.
100%.
Yeah, it
If
does.
they get injured too, bro. These
Big
fast
time.
bowlers,
Big time.
they can't move their arm.
Yeah.
Like when they retire, they can't move their arm in certain positions.
Same thing with pitching, bro.
That's
you can't
scary.
imagine, bro. Pitchers, they go all the way back here. I'm sure same thing as a bowler, right?
So
all
is
the
it
way
worth
back
it then
here.
actually? No, I'm
Well, you're
kidding.
sacrificing your body for a goal.
Yeah. And yeah. The goal is to win a World Cup, man. That'd be
amazing.
insane. A World Cup.
Imagine you're there.
No, I don't. It's not about. It's just about. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. We'll see. We'll see. All of
Okay.
this is just sounds so good to be true, but God willing, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, buddy. Sportsnet next podcast.
Sure.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right.
All right.
Prepare for the next guest, though. That's all I gotta say.
I have one.